UK, Canada, Australia, USA. These used to be the best countries in the world to study abroad. Over 800,000 Indian students are studying in these countries right now. English speaking countries, great opportunities, amazing institutions, easy PR. They're the best options, right? Not anymore. UK has no jobs. Canada has one of the worst cost of living crises in the world. USA has no PR and it's so expensive. Australia, the study abroad industry is more of a business than actual education. Students don't do enough research, go to these countries, take lakhs of rupees in loans, struggle, and then come back home without a job and with a big loan on their head. So where do you go instead? That's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Before we start, disclaimer number one. There are literally hundreds of factors which go behind deciding which country you want to go to. But I am only concerned with three factors. And I believe these three factors are the most important. Number one, affordability, both in terms of fees and cost of living. Number two, availability of jobs. And number three, long-term settlement. Can I afford to go there? If I go there, will I get a job? And after I get a job, can I at least stay for a few years, 5 to 10 years, and maybe get a PR? These are my only concerns. So let's get started. The first country on my list is France.
I chose France, and not just because of the architecture. France is already a very popular destination for international students. 412,000 international students came to France in 2023.
But more importantly, France is one of the few countries which actually wants Indian students. The president of France recently announced that France wants 30,000 Indian students to be in France by 2030.
And to promote this, they're giving 5-year post-study visas to all Indian students.
France has a world-renowned education system, and French universities rank in the top of most rankings. And the best part? Tuition fees is very affordable. If you speak French, it's almost free. But even if you're studying in English, it's still a lot cheaper than the UK, Canada, and definitely the USA. There are also so many benefits for students. For example, the French government gives me a reimbursement on my rent, which makes my cost of living very, very affordable. So for affordability, France is amazing. In terms of jobs as well, the market is very good. Obviously, you'll have more options if you speak French, but there are plenty of English-speaking jobs available for which you don't need fluent French.
Obviously, once you come here, you'll have to start learning it. But if you don't need it for your classes, you don't need it for work, then there's not much pressure.
I've been here for a year. I've not spent a lot of time preparing, but I've learned enough to live. I can talk to people on the street, I can communicate, and that's all you need. In terms of long-term settlement, if you get a job, then there's absolutely no stress. You get 4-year renewable visas and you can apply for your PR just 2 years after you finish your masters.
Yes, you'll have to slowly start learning French, but for all these benefits, why not? Plus, you get views like this, and that's just an added bonus.
The second country on my list is Ireland. It's an English-speaking country, so if for some reason you absolutely do not want to learn a language, then this is definitely an option you should consider. Ireland consistently ranks in one of the best countries to live in. In 2023, it ranked as the third most peaceful country in the world. But in terms of my criteria, in terms of affordability, most master's degrees here are just 1 year long, so they aren't very expensive. But yes, if you're going to live in a big city like Dublin, and especially if you want to live in central Dublin, that is going to be a little expensive. It will be more expensive than France, but definitely a lot cheaper than the UK, Canada, and the USA. So it's not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest either. In terms of job opportunities, I'm not sure if you know this, but companies like Google, Apple, LinkedIn, Airbnb, all have their European headquarters in Ireland, and almost every big company has offices in Ireland as well. Why? Low tax rates. Ireland has one of the lowest corporate tax rates in the world. This means more companies are going to keep coming in and the need for employees is going to keep increasing. In terms of long-term settlement, you get a 2 years post-study work visa, and after 5 years, you can get your PR. And finally, number 3 on my list, Germany. Germany is already quite popular, and it makes sense. High quality education with some of the best universities in the world, especially for fields like engineering and STEM, and basically any course which involves research. Affordable tuition fees. Again, if you're in a public university, it's either going to be absolutely free or a very small fee. And some public universities also have English programs. And even if you want to go to a private university, it's still a lot cheaper than most countries. In terms of jobs, Germany is the largest economy in Europe. But yes, like France, you'll have to spend some time learning German. But unlike France, English is a lot more prevalent in Germany. So you can definitely be comfortable without German as well. Germany also has lots of English speaking companies, English speaking roles. So it's definitely possible to get a job without German, especially in STEM fields. And a cherry on the top, Germany recently changed its citizenship laws. It used to take 8 years to get a German passport, but now it'll take only 5. But if you can prove that you've really learned German well and you've really integrated into the German culture, you can get a passport in 3 years. You won't find this anywhere else in the world. Even Canada, which used to give PRs for free, is not doing this anymore. And that's it. That's my top 3. And again, this is my list. And as I said, my main criteria was affordability, the job situation, and long-term settlement. One thing I would highly advise is don't rank countries on the basis of all factors combined, and don't give equal weightage to each criteria. This is what all other YouTubers do, and it doesn't make sense. You can't give equal weightage to the job situation and the weather. Choose what factors are the most important to you and then decide which country makes sense. My next few videos are going to be deep dives into these countries. I'm going to make one entire video about France, one entire video about Germany, pros and cons, statistics, speaking with students there. So do subscribe to my channel and I'll make sure you make the right decision about studying abroad. It'll be a win-win for the both of us.